Hi, my name is Ryan, and I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a tour of the PayWhirl plus BigCommerce integration. I'm one of the founders here, and I've been working on the product for a couple of years. And I just want to kind of give a high-level overview of exactly what PayWhirl does with BigCommerce. So PayWhirl is an app that essentially allows businesses to set up recurring payments. And recurring payments can be for any kind of recurring billing need. So we help lots of different kinds of businesses, from subscription box companies that are shipping something every month, to service companies like personal trainers, anybody who needs to bill a customer essentially on a set schedule. And so we offer a suite of tools that allow businesses to be able to do that pretty easily. And essentially the way that the system works in a nutshell is you create what we call plans, and they're payment plans, and those are essentially the rules that you use to bill your customers. And then after you set up a payment plan, you set up what we call widgets. And widgets are essentially what you embed into your website. And those are what allow customers to essentially access your plans and make purchases. We also have widgets that allow customers to be able to log in and manage their subscriptions, because we offer a customer portal, and you can embed that into your site as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of give you a tour of the system and show you how to install the app, and just kind of do a basic rundown, pretending as if I was a coffee company. So as you can see here, I'm on the PayWhirl dashboard. It's the main view within PayWhirl. It's the top link. And it just kind of has some basic stats about what's going on in your account. This is my demo account, so you can see that there's some activity here from previous stuff I've been doing. I have an upcoming payment calendar that shows me kind of a history of my test payments that I've been running and upcoming payments here, and that's pretty helpful. And then I have my BigCommerce store, which essentially is just a demo store that I have set up. I have one page right now, and it's just called PayWhirl App Widget Demo, and I have it set to be my homepage in this BigCommerce store. And then I also have set up basically just a couple of just a couple of product pages. And I can kind of show how you can embed essentially our buy buttons into product pages. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start with the widget, which is right here. And this is one of our pricing table widgets. So the pricing table widgets are designed to be embedded directly into a page. And they allow a customer to essentially come along and select a plan, and they kind of look like a pricing table by default. And I have kind of all the bells and whistles turned on right now. So please note you can customize quite a bit of this. You can change all the text, the colors, the information displayed, etc. But this is essentially a pricing table widget that I have set up already with two plans. And so I've created a plan just to kind of show that we can do daily charges here. And then another plan that shows kind of how you would set up a weekly charge. And so this is the end result that the customer would eventually see. And they can come and they can select, I want to do a weekly coffee delivery, so I'm going to click continue. And then I have this actually chained to another widget, so I can offer an upsell here. So then it's offering me filters. I'll go ahead and add gold filters for the test here and click continue. And you can see I get a checkout right here. And if I were to check out right now, this would essentially give me a subscription to coffee and weekly, and it would include gold filters weekly. And so I can go ahead and I can do a test checkout here right in the page, and it will essentially generate an order in BigCommerce weekly for this coffee shipment with gold filters. And so that's kind of the end goal, essentially, is to allow your customers to be able to purchase subscriptions on their own. And then you can also come back and log in and manage your subscriptions using the customer portal that we offer, but I'm going to get into that a little bit later. What I wanted to show you is just essentially how I would add a plan to this widget. And so you can see here we have a daily plan and we have a weekly plan. So I was going to go ahead and show you essentially how we would add a monthly plan to this widget, so that we would have three options, another column here. So I'm going to start at the beginning, and we're going to go over to my BigCommerce store, and I'm actually just going to go ahead to the App Store and go ahead and install the app. We'll start from scratch. So you can see the App Store here. Right now we're on the first page because we're in the popular section. We're new, but if you can't find us on the first page, you can search for PayWhirl. or recurring payments. There's several queries that we'll come back for. And so once you locate the app, you'll see we have a little description here, and you can click this install button to go ahead and start the installation process. The next screen here, it just kind of shows the permissions that we need from your BigCommerce store to be able to access your product catalogs, etc. And so I'm going to click confirm to continue. And okay, so I now have connected my BigCommerce store to PayWhirl, and you can see it loads the dashboard for you right here inside of BigCommerce when you click the app. And so this is the main page, as I mentioned, for PayWhirl, kind of where you start oftentimes. And I should note also, you can always load PayWhirl outside of BigCommerce as well. You don't have to wrap it inside here. You can always just go to another tab and you can run PayWhirl essentially on your own outside. But anyways, I'm going to go back to just kind of showing how we would continue this plan. So now that I have the app installed on my PayWhirl site, you can come here to Apps and Integrations in the menu, and you'll see we now have BigCommerce installed here. So I'm going to go ahead and continue, and you'll notice right under Dashboard, the very next item is called Plans. And if you go to Manage Plans, you can see I have a few different plans that I've created here from previous tests. And you can see here in the middle, I have my Coffee Daily and my Coffee Weekly plans. So we're going to go ahead and create a Coffee Monthly plan, that third one. But I wanted to show you here that we essentially list the plans, and if you want to edit them, you can. But let's go ahead and just create a new plan, which we'll click up here to do. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a plan that's going to bill customers monthly for coffee. So we're going to call it Coffee Monthly. Just keep it simple. And we'll go ahead and we'll make it, I don't know, we'll call it $20, and we'll charge $20 every one, and then you can choose months, days, weeks, or years. We're going to leave it on months. And then you get some additional settings. So the top portion here essentially sets the rules for the recurring charges. You can also do a one-time charge if you want, which you would do down here by setting installments to 1 so it doesn't recur. But for now, this will set to bill people $20 every 1 month. And then you have some options to charge shipping, yes or no, and we can set up. You can set up shipping rules here under your account settings to apply to different locations based on different price ranges, and sales tax, same thing, by different locations. You can set up tax options. To keep this simple, I'm just going to go ahead and select no to not charge sales tax on this demo. You can also input a SKU if you want. This will carry into any orders that are placed in BigCommerce. It can also correspond with an existing SKU in your BigCommerce store so that things match up for fulfillment. I'm just going to put monthly coffee. And then you can set a trial period if you want, which is the number of days essentially that there'll be a delay before a customer is billed. And if you have questions about what any of these things are, you can hover over these little tooltips here, and it gives you a little bit more information about each thing. A setup fee is just an additional fee you can charge, and you can choose when to charge it, only on the initial subscription or every time a customer subscribes to this plan. And I'm just going to go ahead and leave it blank. And then a few other things. You can set the currency. And if you want, you can have a subscription only ever start on a specific day of the month. So you could say, I only want to do my shipments on the, the 15th, and so I want everybody to rebill on the 15th. So I'm going to go ahead and have this plan start on the 15th, and that's called billing cycle start day here. But for this example, I'm just going to leave it on date of subscription. So that means when somebody signs up, they will rebill from the day that they originally signed up. So if they signed up on the 5th, they'll rebill on the 5th. If they signed up on the 25th, they'll rebill on the 25th. And so anyways, you can also set installments, which is the number of payments. So you can set I could set this to be an annual plan that would have 12 payments if I wanted. So it would do monthly for 12 payments, and then it would unsubscribe the customer. Or you can actually chain plans together. So after 12 months, you can subscribe them to another plan. And you can get pretty fancy with that. But I'm going to go ahead and just leave this one on no limit on installments. So that means this monthly plan will bill the customer from the date they start, and it will just continue until the person cancels, or if for some reason their card declines a whole bunch of times and they failed dunning, then they would be canceled. But this is a pretty generic plan. It will bill somebody $20 a month. There's no limit. It'll just continue until it ends, essentially. And then there's a few other options. There's some internal tags you can use. And then we offer profile questions, which is some extra information you can ask when a customer's checking out. So for coffee, I actually have a profile question set up that asks if they would like ground coffee or whole bean for the demo. So I'm going to go ahead and check that just so that it does ask when somebody checks out for the monthly coffee plan. It will ask them if they want ground coffee or whole bean coffee. So continuing, you can attach a digital download to this file. It's optional if you wanted something to be emailed to them when they purchase this plan. I'm just going to go ahead and skip that and go ahead and save here. And so after you save the plan, you can see there's a new section that appears, and this is relative just to BigCommerce. And this is kind of where all the magic comes from PayWhirl plus the BigCommerce app. And it's where a lot of the flexibility also comes from. Basically, it allows you to control how orders will be placed in the BigCommerce system for each plan. And so for this plan, it's pretty straightforward. We're just doing a monthly plan, and we're going to have it just continue on. And so we would want to place orders on all successful payments, and that's what it defaults to. It's the standard that most businesses use. But for example, let's say I was doing a layaway type option, and this wasn't just a monthly ongoing plan. It was a layaway type plan where somebody was going to be breaking down, payments for, let's say it's a $100 item, and they were going to do 5 payments of $20, right? You might want to change this setting in that scenario, and you might want to only place orders after the last successful payment has been made, where they've paid off the entire amount, the full 100. Then the system would place an order in BigCommerce. Or you could change it depending on your business needs in that scenario. If you wanted to ship the item right away after the first payment, you could have it place the order on the first payment out of a chain. And so this setting is pretty powerful. It allows you to control essentially how orders flow into the system on every single charge that happens from this plan. And when you chain plans together and you get creative, you can come up with some pretty cool scenarios where you can actually do prepaid plans, for example. So somebody could pay you monthly, or could pay you yearly. Like annually, they want to prepay for a monthly type plan, but they want to pay 12 years up front, 12 months up front. So they would essentially just purchase their annual plan, but you could set it up so that orders were still placed monthly. And so it makes fulfillment pretty easy, or about as easy as it can be if you get everything set up properly. And we have different tutorials that kind of can show you how to set this up to meet your needs. But basically, this is pretty important here, and this is where a lot of the functionality comes from the integration, is how you can control all of these orders on different schedules for each specific plan. And so I wanted to draw attention to that here. If anybody has any questions about this, please feel free to send us an email, and we'd be happy to specify. And then this next setting here is similarly handy. And in BigCommerce, you can have what are called customer groups, and they're just a group that a customer can be assigned to. And this can be handy, for example, if you were doing a wholesale program. So let's say you wanted to say anybody who's on this coffee plan for $20 per month, we also wanted to assign them to group number 1 or group 1 here. We could do that, and I can go ahead and save. And now when somebody subscribes to this plan, they will be added to group number 1 here. And in BigCommerce, you can set up basically discounts for customer groups. You can use other apps to take functionality to allow only this group to see specific pages, etc. So this can be pretty handy as well. And so what I wanted to just get at here is the BigCommerce settings that appear in plans after you save a plan are really where a lot of the functionality comes from, and really kind of all you need to master to be able to use the integration really effectively is just how the orders are placed. And that'll make your life easy downstream when things eventually get to fulfillment. So anyways, I know that was a little long-winded. and I'm providing a lot of information, but there's quite a bit to go through, and hopefully I haven't lost anybody. If you are lost, we're on chat and we're on support, 24/7. Please send us an email to team@PayWhirl, and we'd be happy to go over anything specifically for you, and set up a phone call if you guys want to have a call to discuss anything. So continuing, we can see if I go to manage plans, I now have the very last plan here is called Coffee Monthly. And so the next step, as I mentioned, is to create a widget. So I've created a plan, which is one of these columns here in my widget. And now I need to put my new plan into this widget with these other plans. So I have widgets here, and if I go to manage widgets, you'll see I have quite a few different widgets for my testing and whatnot. But I have one here that's called Coffee Plans. It's at the top. And so if I edit that, we'll take a look at it, you can see that it's my widget that's embedded on the page here. And it's got my plans in here, and there's some settings over on the left. So I use this left panel here to essentially build a widget. And there's quite a few neat things you can do. So we're going to be adding another plan to this. So right now it's set to be 2 columns, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make it 3 columns. And you'll notice as soon as I change this, it refreshes over here with the updated info. But now we seem to have a space over here, which is good because we're going to add a plan. And you can see select a section to edit. So you can choose here different sections. I'm going to go to section 3, which is disabled. So I only have things in the first 2 sections here, which is my first 2 plans. As soon as I go to the 3rd section for my 3rd plan, it's disabled. And so this is where we essentially will set up our plan. So I went to the 3rd section, and we have to go down and we have to select our Coffee Monthly plan. So we can see it's $20 per month here. And when I do that, it's going to go ahead and put the plan here without any information or any details. So I can then give my plan a title. So we'll call it Monthly Coffee. And then I can go ahead and I can change how the price is displayed for the plan, which is this next area here. And so I'll go ahead and I'll just say $20 per, actually we'll go monthly. And as soon as I'm done typing, it updates over here. It's $20 monthly. The text, I think we'll make it match these other ones. So we'll make it say continue. And then quantity selectors, should they be able to have multiple of this plan when they check out? I'm just going to say yes because the other plans have it as well. And then the next tab here is essentially the colors, and we can just copy those colors from the first section, which I'm going to do to keep it easy. So that essentially just copied over all the colors. And then you can set an image, which I'm going to do here. And in my downloads, if I search coffee, I believe we have some coffee images. It should upload here. So I've got my image, my title, and then the last step here is the features. And you can see I put some features in on these other plans. So I'm going to go ahead and just basically copy them really quick. So I'll do monthly coffee delivery. And we'll do premium Kona coffee. And we'll say free shipping. And so those essentially have appeared here as options. So whenever I'm done setting up my widget, which for us is about now, you have options on how you want to embed this thing. So this is what it looks like, as we know. And you can come down here and you can select the widget embed code, which is going to make it look just like this. And it's going to be displayed in the page. Or on each widget, we also offer what's called a buy button embed code. And this essentially is just a button you can use. And when the customer clicks it, it will pop up this widget in a pop-up over the page. So the embedded widget code is better on just normal pages in BigCommerce. And the buy button embed code is typically better on product pages in BigCommerce. We also have some cool new stuff coming soon that relates to product pages, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about that in another video. For now, we'll just go ahead and we'll grab this and we'll copy it. And all we have to do to install this is to go back to our BigCommerce store and go to the page that has our content. So for us, it is this demo page here. And you can see I'm just using the WYSIWYG editor. You click HTML and you can paste in here. Or you can put it into HTML mode if you're comfortable with that in BigCommerce. And you can see I already have the script in here. So it would be redundant to paste it again. I'd just be pasting the same exact script here, but for the sake of showing you, I'll do it. So I just pasted it again and we'll update and save. And then if we refresh on our homepage here or on our product page, we should see the new plan appear. And sure enough, there it is. So anyways, what we just showed you was essentially kind of the core functionality of the system, which is you set up plans, and plans are essentially the rules that will bill customers. And then once you have plans set up, you build a widget or widgets. You can have as many widgets as you'd like. And those widgets look like pricing tables typically. They can also look like payment forms or just have one plan in them if you want. You can also have widgets that look like buy buttons that pop up this checkout over the page. And essentially the widgets go into a page and they allow your customers to check out. So if we selected our new plan here, it then flows to our next widget because I have this widget chained to another widget. And then finally to checkout. And actually, let's take a minute and I'd like to show you that chaining. So you notice that it went to another widget after I clicked continue. That's a powerful feature that we offer. And by default, it usually would just go right to the cart and they would check out for one of their plans. But you can chain widgets together so that you create kind of a custom checkout funnel, and you can have widgets with subscriptions chained to widgets with just upsells. And so you can have one-time products that people check out with subscriptions, and the one-time products will fall off and the subscriptions will renew. You can do all sorts of cool stuff with the funnels if you chain the widgets together. And I just wanted to show that really quick on the PayWhirl side. So if I go back to that widget, you'll see here, if I go to my coffee widget and I go down to the advanced settings, which we didn't look at, you'll notice that there's a setting here that says forward to. And right now I have it, or forward to widget, excuse me. And right now I have it set on filters. And so what it means is when somebody clicks continue on this widget, it's going to forward to my filters widget, which is another widget I have set up in the system. By default, this would just be on shopping cart. So when somebody clicks continue, it will then just go right to the cart. And I can show you that now. If I refresh the page here, I've changed that setting. And so now if I click continue, it will just go right to the cart and not to another widget to do chaining upsells. But anyways, I know that this is a lot of information to take in. I just want to cover a test checkout so I can show you a BigCommerce order that's generated so that you can see what it looks like on the BigCommerce side when somebody purchases through PayWhirl. So I'm going to go ahead and just double check really quick that I have this chained to the filters widget again, because I'd like to show you that. And then I'm going to do a test checkout just to show. So this would be an example of a customer that's come along to my BigCommerce store with PayWhirl installed, and they want to check out for their coffee subscription. So they're going to go ahead and select the monthly plan, and then just to show you guys, I'm going to add one filter pack per month, and then continue to check out. So we need a name. Let's just do Jane Little, and I'm just going to put in some random email address here and just some bogus information just to kind of get us through here. 4th Street. And you'll see at the bottom here, it's asking me if we want whole or ground bean, and that's because we basically set this coffee plan to ask that question. So I'm going to continue. And the next step essentially is adding a card. I have this widget connected to our test gateway. All the widgets in the account by default are connected to what's called the PayWhirl test gateway, so that you can run charges and test everything in the system as things come up using a fake card. So I'm going to go ahead and just put in a fake card number, 4242 4242 4242 4242, and some fake information here, and add the payment method. So now that I've added a payment method, the last step is just to confirm. I've got my coffee monthly plan. I've got my gold filters. I am going to check out and pay. And you'll see here that once I'm done, it logs you into the customer portal, and I can see my upcoming payment calendar and some information that you'd see as a customer when you sign in. You can also redirect people away to a custom thank you page that they don't see their customer portal right after making a purchase. But this is essentially what customers will see when they log in. And they can view a dashboard, they can see their active subscriptions, and they can edit them, their payment methods on file. They can come down here and change their payment methods or remove them. Addresses on file where they can add new addresses. And then you can view essentially their billing history, so they can see their paid invoice and their next upcoming invoice. And that next upcoming invoice is also displayed here on the dashboard. So if I go to next month, you can see I'm going to be billed $36 or $38.60 as a customer. But on the BigCommerce side, what I wanted to show you is what that looks like. And that essentially looks like this. So if we come into customers, you can see Jane Little essentially just signed up, and they have a current order, number 207, which we can just go ahead and click into, or you could navigate to orders to view that, but we'll go ahead and we'll click it. And you can see they came and they purchased subscription to Coffee Monthly, they added the gold filters, and they checked out. So that essentially is the process. Customers come along, they purchase a plan, and then those plans will generate orders in the system based on your settings in PayWhirl. So that was the core functionality I wanted to go over. There are some really other neat bells and whistles for BigCommerce customers that I want to make additional videos about. You can store credit cards, for example, and recall credit cards quite easily with custom invoices. So if we wanted to, bill Jane here, I can view her past invoice. I can click on her name and I can create an invoice, and I can search against the BigCommerce catalog real quick for products, and quickly add them to an invoice. And I can use a card on file here, and I can charge that customer. And I've now used a card on file really quickly to search against the BigCommerce catalog and run a card on file. And you'll see if we come back to orders and go to all orders, Jane would then have 2 orders in her system that are relating to her, which would be under orders. And Jane. Oh yes, no, there are 2. This one and this one here are now associated with her. So anyways, I hope this helps, and that's all I got.